Go ahead and take it away, Red Lady Red. Why do you support Trump?
Because I didn't like the direction in which the Democrats was leading this country into.
Okay, so what direction are
But
we
mostly
heading in now
because
that's
he's,
better?
you said what directions that
Yeah,
we're headed into?
yeah, now that's better.
Oh, you said that's better. Well, for one, our kids don't have to be subjected to live in delusion with people who want the world to live in delusions with them, nor do they have to be forced to think something's wrong with them because they might wake up and feel a little bit different. Um,
If I had to guess, are you anti-trans and that's why you support Trump? Are you talking about
That see, that's the thing.
are
Why
you
do y'all?
talking about
I'm
trans
not.
people?
I don't. I could care less about what a person want to do in their individual lives.
Yeah.
That part I don't have a problem with. If a person want to be trans or whatever they want to identify as, that's them. What do that have to do with me?
What?
Why
Nothing.
should it be forced on
Ex-
me?
Exactly. Well, I
I'm
don't.
not forcing
Well,
my life
ma'am,
choices on you.
ma'am, are you saying that Joe Biden was trying to force you into being trans?
No, I didn't say
Yeah.
that.
What the fuck are
I'm
you talking
saying
about?
meaning they're trying to, just like you see how you just called me anti-trans because I said what I didn't want my children to be forced or things forced on me. See, that's what I mean by that. You can't sit here and try to call me something because I don't agree with your lifestyle, because I'm not calling you anything. But if you want to live in a delusion, I shouldn't be forced to have to live in that delusion with you.
Okay. Well,
Nor am I
so
willing to
what?
be
Okay.
called a cis woman when I'm
Oh
a
God.
biological woman.
Oh no, man. I'm gonna be honest
I'm
with you.
not the makeup, I'm the real
I'm gonna
thing.
be honest with you. Okay. The only party that says men are women, right, are the right. Okay. How did the right treat Michelle Obama? She's a man. She's a man. She's a man. How is the right treating the wife of President Macron in France? She's a man. She's a man. She's a man. Okay? Right? So when it comes to trans individuals, trans women are women, trans men are men. Okay? It's not saying that men are women, it's saying that women are women. And the only party that says men are women would be the right, with the two examples that I just gave you and many, many more.
That's not no example. An example of trans is if I could physically look at you and you look like a man in a dress, and then you get offended because I call you a man because you physically look like one to me. How can you be offended because you are a man in a dress?
Okay. All right. Well, now seemingly like you're shifting the goalposts away from are trans women women, are trans men men, into if you
Trans
misgender, if
women
you
are
accidentally.
men.
Okay. All right.
A trans woman is a
Can I
man.
speak? Can I speak? Okay.
Go ahead.
I completely disagree with you. We just have to be very careful about this debate because it gets flagged by TikTok TOS. The last time I allowed this debate to unfold, I got banned, okay, and I lost access to my multi-guest for 3 days. Let's see if like there's like a worker. First, are you Christian? That workaround way is dead. Second, do you think that trans women should be able to go into women's private spaces?
No.
And if it, okay, all right. So do you think that a cis man like me should be able to go into a woman's private space?
No.
And if a man does go into a woman's private space, what do you think should happen to him? Like, imagine there's this hypothetical man that walks into the dressing room of naked teens and naked women to unconsensually look at them without clothes on, a total pervert. What should the punishment for that man be?
You I already y'all funny. Men should not be in the spaces with women, period.
So if a man goes
Now, I
into a
don't care
woman's
how you
private
want to
space to be a
word it,
predator,
how
to look
you
at them
want
while they're
to.
naked, what should the punishment for that be? Jail for life?
Wait,
I'd
you
say.
say what?
So
Wait, say that
if
again.
a man does go into a woman's private space to look at naked women, naked girls while they're undressing in a dressing room, right, to perv on them, to exploit them unconsensually, what should his punishment be?
You said what should a man that's coming intentionally into a woman's locker room while they're naked?
Yeah, to look at them while they're naked, to be a total fucking sick perv. What should his punishment be?
The same as any punishment if you been creepy.
Should he go to jail?
It depends. I would need more context to what
Okay.
happened.
Okay, let's just imagine that there's like a 60-year-old beauty pageant owner, all right? Some dude, some really creepy dude. And while he's owning these beauty pageants, he's abusing his position of
I know
power as the
exactly
owner
where
of the
you're
beauty
trying
pageant.
because
And like, imagine that they then walk back into the dressing rooms of these naked teens, literally minors, and naked women, naked. And then he looks at them
was
unconsensually.
they naked or that's the narrative?
No, no, it's just
Was
that
they
it's just
naked or is that the
hypothetical.
narrative
I'm
that
just
y'all want us to
I'm just
play?
giving you some hypothetical context. So if a man did this, abused that
No,
position of
that's not
power, went
hypothetical.
into it is hypothetical.
You trying to make it. No, you're trying to paint it as if I'm okay with that, then why I shouldn't be okay with a man just coming into a bathroom with a woman. That is
Oh,
inappropriate.
you're thinking. You're
It's
thinking.
inappropriate for
Listen,
men to be in the bathroom
listen.
with women.
You're thinking way too far ahead. Okay. If a man owns a beauty pageant, abuses that
No,
position of a
you
power.
trying to control. You're only saying that because of the narrative of what they tried to push about Trump, and I
Oh,
support him. I
oh,
know exactly why
listen.
you're saying
Oh,
that.
listen. Trump's not done this. That narrative was made by fake liberals that were lying. Okay, I'm with you there. It's not about Trump. Okay.
That is where you was going with that.
No, no.
Like, come on
Listen to
now,
my
be for
words.
real.
This isn't
Be
about
for
Trump.
real.
Trump
Okay, so I
hasn't
have a
done
question
this.
to you. Do you
Well,
have any
I'll
kids?
let you ask your question after you answer mine.
Okay, what's the question?
All right, remember, nothing to do with Trump. Okay, Trump hasn't done this. The liberals, they try to fake this narrative. Quite frankly, fucking delusional, dude. God, I mean, just get a load of the liberals, right? But listen, hypothetically, if some random guy, not Trump, because he's a good guy, a very good guy, not Trump, were to like own a
Oh
beauty
my
pageant
God.
and were to like walk backstage and look at the naked
Yes,
women, look at the
if
naked
a
girls
man is being
unconsensually.
a pervert, if a man is being a pervert and he's coming in on women and he know that they is naked, yes, something should be done to him.
Would you
So can
ever?
we move
Okay,
along?
now that you've answered that question, something should be done. He should face the consequences, punishment for his actions. Hypothetically, if a man did that, would you
Oh
ever
my
support them as
goodness.
president? Hypothetically.
I'm gonna still I'm going to support Trump no matter how you try to spin the
Wait,
narrative
wait, wait, wait,
because
wait. So
I'm
hypothetically,
not brainwashed.
if you knew for a fact, hypothetically, if you knew for a fact, this isn't the real world, just a mere hypothetical question. If you knew for a fact that Donald Trump had like sexually exploited naked teens and or naked women by walking into their dressing rooms and looking at them when they had no clothes on, would you still support him as president? If you knew that for a fact in this hypothetical fairy tale world.
I don't know that for a fact, so show me so I
I,
can see.
no, well, this isn't the real world. It's hypothetical. I'm saying in another version of reality where you did know this for a fact, where he'd actually done this, would you still support him as president?
You said if I knew this for a fact, I wouldn't support no one that would harm children intentionally,
Okay, so like including Trump. So if Trump did this, you would no longer be MAGA.
including whomever.
So if Trump did this, you would no longer be MAGA. Can I just get a clear yes or no?
I'm not MAGA. I just support Trump.
If Trump did this, would you still be a Trump supporter? Could we get a clear yes or no?
If Trump did that and he's already the president, I still would rather him be the president than what they had.
Okay,
Yes.
what the fuck? Okay, so the first thing that you brought up when you joined this live, I just muted you, not because you were interrupting me. I was just kind of angry. Feel free to unmute yourself. So the first thing you brought up into this live was saying that you support Trump, right? The guy that's taking healthcare away from 10 million low-income Americans, the adjudicated rapist, the 34-count felon, the guy that's taking away food stamps from 41 million Americans on November
Is there a
1st.
criminal record of him being the rapist?
So yeah, he was sued for that and he was proven guilty in a civil
No,
court of law.
sue. No, 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 no.
Uh,
Suing is civil. I said criminal.
oh yeah, no, he doesn't have a criminal record
Criminal.
for rape,
Has
but he's
he
still a proven
ever been
rapist.
criminally charged and convicted of rape?
So no, he hasn't been criminally convicted of
No,
rape, but
he
he's
has
still a
not.
proven rapist.
No, he has not. Anybody can go
keep
to
in
the
mind the
courts and sue
but he's
somebody.
still a proven rapist.
And no, he has not.
Yes, the
The
civil
the
court proved it.
the first case to ever be won by substantial evidence off of hearsay, word of mouth. Because I know if I was a great victim of a man of Trump's status, I wouldn't have waited no 30 years.
Well, I mean, in fact, it's the status of
I
Trump.
wouldn't wait a day. I wouldn't wait an hour.
So it's
So
actually
what are
Trump,
you talking about?
it's actually Trump's status that would actually put more pressure on the victim to wait longer. I mean, think about it. He's a billionaire,
No,
right?
no,
Wait,
no,
okay.
no,
No, no,
no. That's
just cut me
just an
off
excuse y'all
mid-sentence.
try to give women, which is why people don't believe women in the first place.
Wow.
Because if someone
Wow.
harms you, you should want to seek criminal charges, not a
Wow.
bag.
Wow. Okay.
I wouldn't be thinking about money if this man harmed me. I would want him locked up, not
Right.
want him to pay me.
Right. So first and foremost,
I wouldn't
60
be looking for his money. I'd be looking for justice.
So first and foremost, 60% of rape victims, right, never report it to the authorities in their lifetime. So I don't think that we should be victim blaming somebody that waits 23 years because of immense social pressures, leading to her losing her job, being turned into a monolith of the left, then stigmatized and demonized by people like you. And then second of
You
all,
said people like me. How do you know I'm not a victim of that?
well, I mean, if you are a victim, that doesn't change the fact that you're a member of the Maga cult.
Yeah, and by me being a victim,
And when I say
I'm telling
when
all
I say people like
victims
you,
to
I mean
speak,
people in the Maga
because
cult.
the longer you wait, the more people will not believe you.
Okay,
The longer you wait, the
Yeah.
more, yes.
Yeah, but we
The
shouldn't
longer
blame that
you
on the
wait,
victim
the
for
more
waiting.
people will not believe
We
you.
shouldn't blame that on the victim for waiting. We should blame that on the individuals for not believing them.
No, we should blame it on them.
On the
If you want to
victim, we
seek
should blame it
justice,
on the victim. So we should do
if
victim
you
blaming.
want to seek
So we should.
justice,
So
ain't that
we
the
should
point?
do
Don't you
victim
want?
blame. I just
So
want
you
to be
want to
clear.
leave him out
I
here
just
to
want to be
harm
clear.
other
Your
people?
point is we should victim blame. That's your argument.
I mean, you could use whatever words you want to play to make you feel better or to entertain your audience. I get it. But like I'm saying is, if you sit around and wait, justice won't be served. Now you giving that predator the opportunity to do it to more and more people.
So
So what do you mean? It stops.
So
It
condemn
stops
the
at the point of you
so
opening your
listen,
mouth.
listen. I will actually not have a conversation with us about you until we can agree that we should condemn the predator. Okay, what you're trying to do is you're trying to say, well, if
Yes,
you're a victim,
we should
right, listen,
condemn
let's
the
just
predator.
listen
You're
listen to what
right.
I'm saying
You're
without
right.
interrupting
We
me.
should.
Listen to what I'm saying without interrupting me.
Okay, I'm sorry.
So listen, what you're saying is that, right, if you are raped, you should immediately report it and you should pursue criminal charges. I'm not willing to have a conversation with you about what victims should or shouldn't do until you can fucking sit here and denounce the rapist. Okay? If you can't denounce the rapist, then you have absolutely no right denouncing any action of the victim. Because any action of the victim following that occurrence, waiting a year, waiting 23, ultimately is minuscule and uncomparable to the harm onset by the rape in the first place. And if you're unwilling to condemn that rape, then you're a goddamn hypocrite for condemning any action of the victim following that, such as waiting
No,
23
I'm
years.
not. Look, host. I'm not condemning the person that is getting harmed. What I'm saying is, if that person wants justice, right? Because if I don't tell what you did to me, then that give you an opportunity to do it to someone else. So at some point, one of us has to have the courage enough to stop it,
Okay.
to stop and speak up,
So here's
no
your
matter
argument.
the consequences,
What you're trying
because
to
that's
do.
the only way they're going to be stopped.
So what you're trying to do is you're trying to demonize E. Jean Carroll. You're attempting to paint her as a bad person by saying, well, E. Jean Carroll allowed for potentially
No,
more.
that's what you're painting her as. I'm just stating my opinion
Okay, well, I'd
about.
appreciate it if
I
you could allow
feel
me to finish speaking.
that they should report it immediately.
Let me know when I can finish.
That's my opinion of it. I'm not questioning her at all. I'm just questioning, why was she, if he did that to her, why would she not speak up sooner and allow him to be able to do it to somebody else if that is true? You will want to seek for justice so that they can go to jail.
Yeah. So there's many reasons why victims will not immediately report a rape. The most predominant reason would be the negative social repercussions that they'd experience given that they would report the rape. Okay, like for instance, when you accuse somebody that is very powerful, right, and has a lot of control over where you live, such as Donald Trump did in New York City, well then all of a sudden your questioning of your job will be on the line. Your questioning of your status with your friends will be on the line. Your questioning if you will be socially ostracized and outcasted because of the immense amount of victim blaming in your community, right? And because you are perceiving those potential negative repercussions of reporting your rape.
Has me telling the victim
you.
to report, has that demonizing them.
Okay. Let me know when I could
The
finish.
point is to stop the rapist,
Listen,
right?
listen,
The only way to
listen.
stop a rapist is to speak up.
Okay, I will happily finish speaking when you stop interrupting me.
Okay, I do apologize. Even though I didn't think I was interrupting you, but I apologize. Go ahead.
So those are the reasons why many victims will wait to report rape. In fact, I want you to understand this next point incredibly clear. You promote those reasons. Right now, okay, after E. Jean Carroll finally spoke up, right now, after E. Jean Carroll finally got her rapist held accountable in a court of law, your immediate response is not to condemn Trump, is not to say that Trump is a bad man for raping her, but rather to say that E. Jean Carroll's a bad woman for reasons X, Y, and Z. Okay,
No.
regardless of how good or bad of a woman E. Jean Carroll is, no woman deserves to be raped, right? And rhetorically, right?
That's true. I agree with you. No woman deserves that. You're
Okay.
absolutely
Okay,
right.
great.
And that's not what I'm saying.
So then the
Wait,
question of E. Jean's character shouldn't even be on the table when we are discussing the facts of her being raped by Donald Trump. Yet so
it is
far,
no what
you
I'm
have
saying.
only been questioning her character in this conversation.
You want to know why I'm questioning her character? Because it seemed more like it's money, a money bag grab. Because when it happened, he wasn't in a position that he is now. He's more powerful. He was more powerful on the day she spoke versus the day it happened. So all of that stuff you just said, that goes out the window because he's more powerful on today than he was then.
Point number one, how could she predict that he'd become more powerful? Point number two, what if she just grew up and like continued to like think about it and then realized like shit, like he's just going to continue to become more and more powerful, and that she like finally like grew the ability to like come out about these experiences? Or point number three, what if she saw him possess the significant level of power, that level of power literally being the presidency of the goddamn United States of America, and she was fulfilling a goddamn patriotic duty by informing the constituents of this country that he is a rapist, so they know
Okay.
exactly who they are supporting.
Right. So if she wanted the country to know that he was a rapist, why didn't she report it so that he can be legally charged as a rapist?
She did,
Because
right?
paying out,
She did
paying,
report it.
no,
She did
that's
report it. Yeah, she did. 2019.
2019. So why
Yes.
criminal charges wasn't brought?
Because the statute of limitations had passed. You couldn't pursue criminal charges.
Okay, so
for
instead
that
of you
point in
sitting
time.
up here talking about how long people wait, why don't you advocate to change the time frame of that?
I do. I think that two things
Instead
could
of
be
going
true.
back and forth with me
I think that two
about
things could be true at
making it
once.
like I'm defending
Yeah, yeah.
a
Hey, ma'am.
rapist, because I don't
Hey, ma'am.
believe he's
I
a
think
rapist.
I think that two things could be true at once. I think it can be true that we need to get rid of a statute of limitations on rape, and I think it could be true that Donald Trump is a proven rapist. The fact that you only think one of those two things could be true at once is kind of disheartening for the future of this country.
That's your opinion, and you can have your opinion, but your opinion
Well,
is
it's not
not
just
going
the
to
opinion of
sway
me,
what I'm
it's the
saying.
opinion of a unanimous jury of 9.
I don't care.
Oh, yeah.
That's the thing.
You don't care
I'm
that it's
not
an opinion
moved.
of the court. Exactly. Because you don't care about the facts. I get it. You're just an
You
anti-intellectualist.
said, what is the facts? What facts did they have? Her
Thank you so
word?
much for the galaxy. Oh, I'll happily go over the facts with you. Well, they didn't just have her word. They had testimony from 9 other individuals that
Word.
aligned with
Other
her
people
word,
word.
and therapist notes from the 90s where she indicated she was raped by Trump, and a cohesiveness between her testimony, the testimony of 9 others, and the testimony found within the therapist notes. Not to mention that she tried to submit her dress that she claimed she was raped in that had Donald Trump's DNA on it to the court to be tested to prove it was his DNA, to further give material evidence that her claim. And then when she submitted it to the court, the judge then turned around and asked Donald
And you
Trump
don't
to submit
think
his evidence
that's
to be
odd
tested.
that
One
a
moment
woman-
to be tested against the DNA on the dress, and then Donald Trump was like, "No, I'm actually not going to submit my DNA, even though if I was actually innocent, this would exonerate me and prove my innocence, thereby indicating, well, we maybe even have more reason to believe his guilt." Not to mention the inconsistencies within his own testimony, such as saying that he never met her in his life, which then E. Jean Carroll and her legal representation responded to with a picture of them together, and another inconsistency in his testimony when he said you never raped her because she wasn't his type, but then he confused a picture of his ex-wife for a picture of E. Jean Carroll in her deposition. right? Not to mention other facts of Donald Trump's character that were very pertinent in this court case that would indicate him to be of a nature to do these bad things to women, such as when he went on the Howard Stern radio show and said that he
Okay,
likes to
I have a
sexually exploit
question.
naked kids. I'm not done giving you the evidence. That when he said he
Oh.
likes to sexually exploit naked kids and sexually exploit naked women, or when the Access Hollywood tapes when he said you could just grab them
When
by
did
the
he say
pussy.
that?
Oh yeah, Howard Stern show, August 21st, 2005.
You said on whose show he said what?
Howard Stern show, he said that he likes to sexually exploit kids and women.
He said that. Well,
Yeah.
I never heard him say that, so I won't speak on that. But as a person that use logic, if she got all of this evidence 23 years later, who sits around and hold on to all of this stuff and wait for a man to get powerful and right before he won for presidency claim that he did all of this? Who walks around with their victimizers come on a dress and save it?
Victims of rape.
She should have been taking that to the police department.
Victims of rape. You said who does that?
I mean,
Victims
hey,
of rape.
and this is why
Victims
when
of
people
rape do
is
that.
when it's true victims, when it,
I'm sorry. I'm not going to let you glaze over that point because I want to acknowledge that. You just said
over what point?
over the point. You asked the question, well, who hangs on to evidence of rape for 23 years? Victims
Yeah,
of
who
rape
does
do
that?
Victims of rape do that. That's who does that. Victims do
People
that.
trying to get a bag do that as well.
Oh, so then you're saying that she actually had evidence of the rape that she hung on to. So then you're saying that he's a rapist. Thank you.
No, what I'm
Oh
saying
wait! Oh,
is,
see!
if
Oh
he
no!
did,
No! Yeah! 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 Oh
he
yeah!
did
You see?
that
Do you see
to
how that
her.
works against?
I mean,
You see
that
how
shit
works
don't
against her
work with
there?
me. I get your point, and I know you're trying to entertain your guests. I get that.
No,
but
this has nothing to do
that's
about
not
the
going to
entertaining
stop
of
me
my
from
guests. This is
using
about trying
common
to get
sense
people.
and logic.
Ma'am, there's nothing commonsensical about denying the unanimous ruling of a jury of 9 based upon the preponderance evidence that I just suggested
Right,
to
for
you,
money,
the lies in
'cause he
Donald
didn't
Trump's
go
own
to jail.
testimony, as well as the concerning facts of Donald Trump's character, ranging from the Howard
Yes.
Stern interview to the Access Hollywood tapes. And you're saying that it's all for money because it was in a civil court. So all
Yes,
of like
it's
the
all for
victims of
money.
rape on behest of like church fathers that were also processed in civil courts in New York at that same time, was that all for money too?
I'm talking about a woman that holds on to
Oh,
that much evidence,
yeah. By
as you say.
the way, in that civil court, you only get the money if the jury does what? Agrees with you. And in order for the jury to agree with you, you
Right,
have to prove
anybody
it.
can
Yeah,
go
thank you
sue.
so
I can
much.
go sue right now. I can go make up a whole story and go F the man and hold his sperm too, and then come back and say he raped me for a bag.
Wait. So you
But
think
I
that,
wait long enough, so I can't
you
bring
think,
criminal
so
charges.
wait. So you think that anybody could just go to civil court and prove rape that never happened?
You said, dude, she took it to civil court at a time where they was trying to lock Trump up to prevent him from becoming the president.
Yeah.
So
She
yeah,
took it to the court at a time when he was running for re-election.
Yes.
How does this prove that she wasn't actually raped?
and how do it prove that she actually was?
Yeah, because the court ruled it. Unanimous jury of 9 for the last time.
That don't mean that. The court didn't rule.
So the rulings of courts. So the rulings. So the rulings. So the rulings of court.
The money.
So they did prove that she was raped
money
because they proved that she was raped and defamed.
They granted her the money
Because they proved that she was raped and defamed. That's why they gave her the money.
No, if he was proved of raping her, why he didn't go to jail?
Because it was a civil court. They determined financial responsibility, not criminal responsibility. Can't go to jail
Right,
for a
she
civil
didn't
case.
take it to criminal court
Because as I
she
told you
wouldn't
10
have
minutes.
won.
No, because as I told you 10 minutes ago, the statute of limitations ran out. Hey, actually, can you name a
Right,
reason?
but my thing is she could have got it before that was up, considering that she
right.
had all that evidence.
Right. So you're right.
So why would you seek?
You're
why
right. She could have pursued criminal charges in 1996.
Yes,
when
and
it
why
occurred.
didn't she?
Oh, well, now we're right back to the victim blaming. Okay? Right? The motivations and reasons why she didn't pursue criminal charges are irrelevant to the preponderance of evidence suggested inside of that civil court proceeding that proved Donald Trump raped her. But once again, for the very last time, the reasons why she didn't pursue criminal charges was because of the impact that she would have suffered based upon the allegation that she would have made against Trump. Like, in fact, you cannot deny that her accusing and proving that Donald Trump raped her in a court was going to lead to bad outcomes for her. Like right now, you are generating bad outcomes for Eugene Carroll by defaming her character, slandering her name, questioning her character, turning her into a monolith,
Oh,
dehumanizing and
that's exactly
stigmatizing
what
her.
you're trying to do to your audience for to me, actually,
No,
sir.
it's what you're
But
doing to
I don't
yourself.
care. I
Sorry,
don't
I'm not the
care.
one
Look,
calling you a shitty
look,
person. You're the one admitting to be a
look,
shitty person
look,
because
look,
instead of
look.
advocating for a better and brighter future for everybody in America, you'd
Why
rather
don't you
support the
why why don't you
rapist that's now taken food stamps away from 41 million Americans, healthcare away from 10 million Americans,
wasn't
and reduce
y'all
the
just
purchasing power of
complaining about people on food stamps?
156 million
Wasn't
Americans so
y'all
far in
just
this life.
complaining about people on food stamps?
What's that?
Talking about what they buying with their money. They need to get up and get a job. Like y'all be so contradicting, the shit be funny. Just like you trying to sit here and tell me this is why
Wait,
real
wait, wait, wait,
victims
wait. Can
get
you?
overlooked.
Yeah, you
This
are
is
the.
why. This is
Yes,
it.
you are right. Why real victims get overlooked. Good
No,
introspection,
because
man.
the man that raped me is in jail, baby. I ain't sit around and wait till he got a bigger bag. Okay?
Okay, so you are now
I
saying
ain't sit around.
so
I
so
put him down so he couldn't hurt somebody
oh
else.
so you're
That's
saying
what I
you're
did.
you're saying that a man raped you and then you proved it in court. Guess what? This whole time you've been disputing, right? You've been disputing and questioning, right, a woman who was raped by a man, then proved it in court.
She did not prove it in she proved it in a lawsuit.
Yeah, she proved it in a civil court. Like this is unreal. You just said I'm the
The
reason why
wind
real
would have
victims
been the
overlooked.
wind
Then you
would
go on
be
to
him
say that you were
involved.
raped and then you proved it in
The
court.
wind would
Meanwhile, this
be
whole
him
fucking
involved.
time you have been invalidating a woman that was raped and proved it in court. You were invalidating women
No,
like
she didn't. She
yourself.
proved it, and I didn't take the man to civil court.
So what
And
is
he
the
had money.
so what is the relevant
I didn't
difference?
take him to
What is
civil
let me
court. I
ask
took
you this
him to
question.
criminal court.
What is the relevant difference between civil court and criminal court that makes civil courts unreliable and criminal courts reliable?
No, a criminal court meaning you want to seek justice for
Wait, but
what
this has
happened,
nothing
so
to
it
do
can't
with this.
happen
But
to
that's not a
someone else.
relevant difference that makes civil courts unreliable, right? Like I'm
When you
asking you,
go
what
to
is the? I'm
civil
asking you. I'm
court, you're
asking you.
seeking
I'm
money.
asking you, what is the relevant difference between something being proven in a civil court and something being proven in a criminal court that makes the outcome from the civil court unreliable and the outcome from the criminal court reliable?
You want to know what would have been the difference? He would have had to register himself. The whole world would have known that he was that and for real.
Wait,
It
but
wouldn't have
that's not.
gave no.
But
It
that's
wouldn't
not
have
a
gave
difference.
no
That's not a
error
question of the difference in the
for
standard of
people to
evidence that the
doubt
courts
it.
are upholding. But that's not a question of the ruling from the jury. That's a question of what happens after we get the ruling from the jury. I'm very specifically asking you why you don't believe the jury of civil courts, but you will believe the jury of criminal courts. Okay,
Because they
having to
seeking
register as a sex
money
offender or not is not a question of that. Plus, there's
and
no
go to jail.
wait. Plus, there's no motivation of the jury to like get money to rule guilt for Trump in a civil court. The jury doesn't see that money, yet it's the jury who ruled his guilt. Oh wow, that's
You
a good point. I'm
but
gonna start running.
she's seeking
I'm gonna.
money.
Oh, but she's not the one that ruled his
Them
guilt. The
juries
jury
most
was.
definitely got paid for being sitting on that trial. They don't work for free.
Oh, okay. The same way juries get some level of compensation in criminal courts, right? So therefore, criminal courts are unreliable
Cor-
too,
I mean, you could try to twist it how
right?
you want
Right,
to twist
and that
it,
jury would have got
but you
paid if they
should be
ruled that he was
advocating
innocent.
that victims
Also,
speak up and seek
would that
criminal
jury
charges.
would that jury have gotten compensated if they ruled he was innocent?
They still would have got paid, yes.
Yeah, okay. So then that didn't give them any reason to rule his guilt rooted within like wanting money. So then why did the jury
Right,
rule his guilt?
because women
Why
know.
listen,
Look,
why did the
look,
jury
I'm a
rule his
woman.
guilt
Can
if he
I
was
explain
innocent?
this to you?
Just explain to
I'm
me
a
why
woman, right?
explain
And
to
as
me
a woman,
explain to me why the jury ruled his guilt if he was innocent.
because sympathy. When
Fucking
you
hell.
hear things, yes. When you hear things like that, your first initial thing is to go with empathy. Okay, it's not
Juries
hard
are
to put on people
instructed to
hands
look at the
trans. Yes,
evidence.
Em- empathy. If I say I can make a lie up right now and get empathy because of the severity of the thing.
So okay,
Okay,
you're just
it's
saying
not hard.
that anybody can make anything up and go to court for it, and because the jury will have
Yes,
empathy,
we
the
have
jury will
synced
agree
it.
with them.
We have synced it throughout American history over
So
and over
so
and
you're
over.
saying
We ain't finna
all
talk
nine
about all the
jurors.
people that done got
So you're saying
hung and
so
lynched
you're
off of
saying
lies
you're saying
of white women.
What part to get out of here you don't get?
Yeah, let's
was
talk about it.
was Donald Trump
White women, every major disaster in America that occurred to black men was behind the face of a white woman lying.
Was Donald Trump a black man or a
White
billionaire
women lie
white
all
man?
the time. They're groomed up to seek men with money.
Was Donald Trump a black man or a billionaire white man?
Was Donald Trump accuser not a white woman?
So you are literally saying that you don't believe E. Jean Carroll was raped because she's a white woman?
No, I don't.
What?
And I say it again, I
fuck?
don't believe her.
Because she's a white woman?
Yeah, who waited 30 years.
So you don't believe that white women can get raped?
I didn't say that. But
that is what you're saying. That is what you're saying. Because if you're saying that you do not believe, if you're saying that you do not believe she was raped because she's a white woman, right? This would imply that you don't think that white women can get raped. Because if you think that white women can get raped, well then you wouldn't question. Then you wouldn't question. No. Because the thing is, if you believe that white women can get raped, then you would not question, right, the ruling of the jury.
I'm questioning because
on
white
the
women
fact that
have
E. Jean
lied
Carroll was
throughout
white.
history about being raped, and it was a lie.
Okay, so some white women have lied about being raped. Therefore, hey, I have a really good question for you. I have a very good question for you. Let me know when I have your attention.
Go ahead.
Have rich white men lied throughout history about not raping white women?
I don't know. I ain't
because see, your argument is, well, white women throughout history have lied about being raped, therefore E. Jean Carroll was lying too. I'd hedge a bet that more rich white, just listen to what I have to say here. I'd hedge a bet that more rich white men have lied about not raping women than there has been white women that have lied about being raped.
Men are the number one of that.
So we could agree. So then I could just say that I believe Donald Trump is a rapist because he's a white man and other white men have raped women and lied about not raping them. And that's actually now, right, a more reliable hypothesis than your argument as a whole, since it is an evidently like common sense fact that more rich white men have lied about not raping a woman that they did rape than there has been white women that have lied about not being raped, about being raped.
I don't know about them statistics. You would have to show me for that. I would have to go research that, or you would have to show me, because I don't know the statistics of white men lying about not.
Well, let's think about it this way. We know that 95% of rapists never see a day in jail, and we know that around 6 to 7% of accusals are false. So what does that tell us? If 93 through 95% of accusals are accurate, and only 5% of accusals land men in jail, this tells us that there's significantly more rapists that say they're not rapists than there are non-victims that say they're victims.
Why this day? Why? I guess I just got a violation. So I guess our conversation.
Yeah, dude, the shit that you're saying on the live was literally so fucking disgusting, right? That like now the live stream is limited to 18 plus for the next 10 minutes because you're gross as shit. Sandra, appreciate you for the $5 on Venmo, who says she's a dumbass kicker from a white woman that was raped. Really sorry to hear that happened to you, Sandra. And I'm just sorry that you had to fucking hear that, okay? Listen, for every single rape victim watching this live, I'm sorry that you had to hear that shit, all right? But like more specifically because of what she was saying there at the end of the conversation, for all the white women out there that have been raped, I'm sorry that you had to hear that shit. Because that was fucking insane. Amberly, thank you so much for the $20 over on Venmo. I appreciate you for that love, Amberly. Let's go ahead and load up Amberly's message here. That was literally insane. That was like literally fucking insane. That was nuts. Oh my god. Let's see. Amberly with the $20 says, Why can't I read Amberly's message? Here, 1 second. Let me go ahead and load up Venmo and PayPal over my computer. I want to be able to read out y'all's messages. In the meantime, while I'm doing that, Ebony, that is EBONIE, thank you so much for the $20 over on YouTube Super Chat. I literally can't read half of your message, Ebony, but I'll read the part of it I can. Ebony with the $20 says, she uses no logic. She is disgusting. I hope that she doesn't have kids to protect. Thank you for what you do. Well, I really appreciate you so much for the $20, Ebony. That is so incredibly kind of you. Thank you so much for the love. As well as Zach, thank you so much for the $20 over on Super Chat as well, who says, this is perhaps the most morally reprehensible person I've ever heard. Truly disgusting. I mean, I'd place her up here with the mom and the daughter, and then Steve. Yeah. I mean, it's like, why are we like having people set like a new goalpost like every day about just being like super fucking sick and so disgusting? I don't know. L Valentine, I appreciate you for the 10 Australian dollars on Super Chat, who says, as a white woman who's been victimized multiple times, first when I was 3 years old, this woman is disgusting. She was very fucking disgusting. Amberly with the $20 over on Venmo says, read as a pediatric sexual assault nurse examiner, the blatant victim blaming here is heartbreaking. If the world would actually believe survivors, more would report. Keep fighting the good fight. These people make me literally physically sick. You know what, Amberly? Man, this is hard to say, but it's true. These people make me sick too, and you guys have seen that on live. After that mom and daughter duo where I literally like shed a tear on live, like I'm just expecting it now. I just expect it now. Unfortunately, I didn't feel that sick twist in my stomach when I was having that conversation with the last guest, because I've had to make myself used to hearing it in order to like literally like not fucking cry because of like how insane like some of these people are. And that's crazy. That's crazy. It's so insane. That's so fucking insane. I appreciate you for the $20, Amberly. Caitlin, thank you so much for the $5 over on Venmo, who says, she says, quote unquote, empathy, but literally has no empathy for a woman who experienced something terrible like herself. Oh my, thank you for doing what you do. I appreciate you for the $5, as well as Sandra with another $10 on Venmo, who says, I just hope you know how smart and influential you are. We just love you over here. I appreciate you for that love, Sandra. Shout out to you. And then Vivian with the $10, who says, guess is disgrace. She is the reason why I haven't publicly said that I was grasped many times, thinking no one will believe me. Listen, most people, well, there's a lot of people, okay, who are not just batshit crazy and will believe you when you say that you were raped, assaulted, harassed, so on and so forth. Okay? Right? People like that last guest are just a very, very loud, disgraceful, disgusting minority. All right? People will believe you. I believe you. Okay? I believe you, Vivian. Thank you for the $10, and I'm really sorry to hear that that happened to you. As well as Jennifer, thank you so much for the $20 on Venmo, who says, this woman is why when I was getting ready to go for court for my own essay, my lawyer told me that women on the jury will be my harshest critics because they will create a me versus them mentality and tell themselves, quote unquote, I would never put myself in that position. Well, I mean, I appreciate you for the $20, Jennifer. Interesting. And I'm once again really sorry to hear that happened to you, man. You know, it is just so disheartening. You know, reading through these messages after the fact, after I talk to a guest like that, and just seeing like all these messages like pouring in, you know, saying this is why I didn't report it, like this is why I haven't discussed it, this is like why I feel so blamed and shamed, you know. And I'm just like, I want to say this to everybody. Like, I'm really fucking sorry that these things happen to you guys. And I'm really sorry that this is an experience that you've had to live with because of how fucked up society can be. Jen, thank you so much for the $10 over on Vim. I appreciate you for that love, Jen. Then Jamie with the $10.